And today we talk to Gideon Bur of Louis Farms Limited, who deal with export produce fresh from the soil. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Thank you, Violet, for having me here. My name is Gideon Bur. I'm the Managing Director for Louis Farms Limited.
What exactly is Louis Farms Limited?
We are growers and exporters of fresh produce, that is fruits and vegetables, from here in Kenya to the European market and Middle East.
Oh, interesting. So Louis Farms, how long has it been in business?
We have been in business for the last 5 years. Yes, this is our 5th year.
5th year in the industry?
Yes, in the industry.
How do you feel right now that you've been able to clock 5 years?
It's amazing. It's amazing journey, let me say, because it's been long journey.
Yeah.
And we are good that we are here right now and still pushing and pressing strong.
Yeah. So 5 years later, I want you to tell us where exactly you started Louis Farms and what made you to start Louis Farms.
Okay, that was back. I've been a farmer since 2012. Mm-hmm. And I used to supply to these exporters. I used to farm snow peas and sugar snaps, that is in Nyandarua County. Mm-hmm. And as you grow, at the end of the day, you'll need to have something of your own as the guys who I was supplying. And in 2015, that was the birth of Louis Farms, when I felt now I should be on my own.
Even back in Nyandarua, when you were selling to these people who export, did you know that your target will be exporting and not maybe local retailing?
Yes, perfectly. My journey and my focus was on export market. But first I had to learn from go on the ground, and because you have to start from the ground, and that is where you have to know what are you growing, the quality you need, and that's where it starts. So my focus has been on export market, you know. Yeah. And I knew I was going there. So
what attracted you to this export market? Because for most farmers, they know I'm farming and taking it to the market and done. But what attracted you to go to that export?
Okay, I had a friend of mine, and I used to supply to that company. It was very new, and it started in 2013. And I became one of their major suppliers. That was for snow peas and sugar snaps. And actually, I may say, these guys, they how do I?
They molded you.
Yes, from being from a normal farmer to the supply chain, and then along in 2013-14, they said, okay, you guy, okay, can you just be one of our operations guy? And they put me in their business. So from there now I start now building the network, and they're still there even today. They're still my good friends. So the company closed down in 2015.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I took it from there. Now for me, what is my next stage? What is my next level? And then Louis Farms started, and they're still with me. They live in Europe. And they are, like, I would say they are my main person even in Europe, because in case when I am in issues to do with the market, they help me in one way or the other.
Yes. So to get to where you are, to build Louis Farms, you had to get an aspect of financial assistance, or in the financial aspect. What was your finances when you were starting Louis Farms? Okay,
I would say I was not that financially stable, because you know, life has got always up and downs. And when I started Louis Farms, actually I had slightly amount. And you know, there's one thing we normally do. Once you start registration, that is licensing, you license with HCD, then you get ECS from KEFIS. You spend some quite good money. And then comes, you don't have the market. So you keep on spending the little you have. When the orders were coming in, and it was just one order. I had almost, it was 245k remaining, and it was as little as
245k. How much are we talking of starting here when you say you had as little as 245k?
That was what was remaining from, I had spent from the registration and audit and everything, almost 250k. So what was remaining was almost 45k, because I had a packaging of 45,000. I do remember that, because I had that packaging, these boxes, panels, they're only worth 45k. And what was in my bank was only 2.5.
Okay.
The first order came, and it was, back then, the pricing of now beans was very expensive. And I could only do one shipment with what I had.
Only one?
Only one.
Tell me how you survived that.
In business, it's all about is one-on-one talk, and you agree. And in business, I always say it's more of partnership between me as a seller from the Kenyan side and a buyer on the other side. We agreed, and we talked to her, that for me, I can only be able to do one shipment because I have those financial issues with me. And she said, yes, it's okay, no problem. You ship one, I pay you after delivery. And that's what happened. I ship today, the shipment arrives tomorrow, in the afternoon, I get paid.
So basically that is how you were able to fund Louis Farm, with that one ship?
Yes, with one shipment, I ship, I get paid, yes. And it was a journey of almost 11 shipments. Then she was off the market.
Wow.
So I got stuck again.
So when she left the market, what did you decide? Did you decide, let me just continue, let me look for other people to sell to, or how did you go on?
Okay, what happened is that, there's one thing, being a farmer, you always have some produce in your own farm and those contracted farmers. So I went back now to supplying to other exporters, because now what do I do? My clients off. What do I do with my beans? And now going back now to supplying chain, it's a big issue, because now you're like, where? It's like now you're falling back again.
You're going back to square one.
To square one, and it was not even safe for me. But with being passionate about export market, I had to wait. You have to be patient.
Patience is key at this point.
And I kept on moving and praying, this is happening. And my time is coming. Still, I'll have to look for these clients. And in 2016, and boom.
There you are.
Actually, at the end of 2016, then the other, back then was my main client came in.
So in 2016 is when you got that safe landing after your client?
It was not safe, because still I had financial issues. But when he came in, the good thing is that, in business you have to be yourself. As we always say, don't live beyond your means. If you cannot afford to ship 5 shipments without any payment, put it on record, say it. And that's what I did. When he came, I was like, okay, yeah, man, I don't have this cash to do ABC. But I promise you, whatever I'm giving you is the best of the best. And he said, okay, let's do this. I'll be paying you every 7 days, And every 7 days means 3 shipments a week. We would be able to load one, copper hapa pale, and then ship. Because I knew after 7 days, there would be flow of cash.
Also, you basically survived on, let me get this from this person, give me this amount of cash, ship, return in the 7 days.
Yes.
Survival is key.
Yes, it's key. You have to learn how the tactics kidogo.
Yes. So when it came to 2016 and you're getting one client at a time, how have you been able to search for your market to send your produce as of this moment? When you say in 2016 is when you got the second now client, how have you been able to maintain and look for other markets to sell your produce?
There is one thing you always say, when we started, I knew the only way, because they're big players in the market.
Yeah.
And I know those big names in the market, and
yes.
Everybody's like, I would wish to be like these guys. But now, how do you penetrate that market with these big fish in Europe? There's only one key, and that is what we have hold even today. It's quality.
Quality is key.
Completely. We fix it, and that's what we did. We give the best. We are a small company, penetrating the big market with big fish everywhere here in Kenya. So then you hit with quality. And that is what we have survived. The clients we have today, we never even search for them. They came for us. It's like, okay guys, I've seen your product, this and this, it's nice, and then I want to share.
And this is just because of quality?
It's quality, yes.
When you talk about quality, you as the owner of Louis Farm, how do you get this produce from the people to know that this is quality produce that I want to export?
First, there are few guys you have seen here.
Yeah.
There are more.
Oh, okay.
First,
it's a big company.
No, it's not a big company. It's a small company. You have to have good technical team. For me, I'm so much involved in production, because that's what now counts. When you have good production throughout the year, and you have good technical team that is now headed by the guy I've seen, then you have 2 agronomists in the farm. We have now 11 TAs in the farm, in all our counties. So those guys down there make sure that what farmers produce is of high quality, is safe for human consumption, because we tend to use a lot of chemicals for spraying, and they have to be really key, as from week 1 up to week 6 as they grow.
Yeah.
So basically, for the quality has to be done from the farm level. That you have to invest more in the farms other than in the pack house.
So basically, you've put your faith in the people who you've put in the field that they will bring you quality.
And I'm their team leader in the farms, yes.
So you would go to the farms and inspect. How many counties have you targeted as of this point?
So far we have Makueni County, we have Machakos County, we have Kajiado County, and we have Nyandarua County. Yes, those 4 counties are our main.
You've mentioned Machakos. We know how we all say Machakos is a dry land, but how are you people able to get produce from Machakos?
My dear, trust you me, the quality we get in Makueni and Machakos, no any other region can even match that quality.
My people in Machakos and Makueni, you seem to be getting the best of produce. We are talking to Mr. Bur telling us about Louis Farm, and we'll be right back to learn more about his export business and how he gets his produce to the European and Middle East countries. We'll be right back.
You are watching TV47. And uncertain career market after KCSE? Worry no more. TV47, the fastest growing youth targeted TV station across the 47 counties, brings you an entire month of career options and choice opportunities across all the leading universities and TVET institutions. We have put together a rich group of experts who will guide you through your career aspirations throughout the month of May. This will climax with a virtual career fair scheduled for the 28th of May at the University of Nairobi Auditorium. All relevant stakeholders are invited to reserve a seat via david.katiku@tv47.co.ke or careersfair@tv47.co.ke on 0791 999 883.
New Blue Band peanut butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts. And a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with new Blue Band peanut butter.
Hey, now that's hitting the right notes. When life gets boring, we bring out our play. You see, playfulness is in our DNA. It's in the way we move and laugh. It's in the way we walk, the way we rock, and how we just don't stop. You feel me? We add color to everything, to every day and every dish.
For Louis Farms Limited. But even as you continue, how do you recruit the farmers that you have with the different counties? How do you know that this is the best person to give me the best produce for export?
Okay, I've already told you that we have a good team on the ground, and it is duty of the technical advisors on the ground to recruit farmers. You know.
Yeah.
And actually, let me say, the only place that we are in challenge of recruiting farmers is Kajiado County, because most of them are so new in French beans, and you have to start with them from point A to point B. Yeah. And many farmers in Makueni and Machakos, they have been doing this for quite a good number of years. So they know what they are doing. So it is easy for our technical guys on the ground to be able to recruit the best. And those guys who know they are continuous farmers, they can do it from January to December. Yes, other than one off-season farmers.
So do you go like to different households and say, I want this farmer, we teach them, or how do you go about this process?
What normally we do is that we hold meetings, you know, and most of these farmers come for the meetings. When they come for the meetings, that is when we schedule the trainings, because our trainings run every 3 months. They must do food safety trainings. That is in terms of chemical use, and for the TAs, calibration, and the rest. So that is how we are able to make sure that we are able to bring and point those farmers all together in those meetings and trainings.
And even when you get these farmers, it comes to a point when they bring you the produce. What happens when it comes to times of payment? Like, do you pay them, or how do you solve that issue of payment?
Okay, I started by saying that any business between us and whoever we are doing business with is more of partnership, because I can do without you and you can do without me. True. I'm a bridge. I'm at the center of your produce and the market. Yes. So payment, when it comes to payment, it is key to farmers. You know. Yeah. And what happens, the reason why we have been able to make sure that we are able to connect and have that partnership with them is that we normally pay 30 to 50% on the harvest day.
30 to 50%?
Yes, depending on the need of the farmer.
Yeah.
Yes. Then the other 50% will take from day 1 to 10th of the month, and then we do the balance payment.
So when you get this produce, how do you, as Louis Farm Limited, price your exports?
Pricing is key, you know.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure, because I know the cost of production, there's not one point. Our prices ranges from 50 to 100 shillings. We don't go below 50 shillings.
Okay, this is interesting.
It is always, you take the contract, you go to farmers, you go to HCD, they will, as per the contract. We don't buy below 50 shillings.
So when you get to export this produce, do you have someone on the other end that checks on your produce? Like, you know, this produce goes to this person, or do they personally go to get them?
Okay, what happened is that it's a chain, you know. My business ends the moment we take our shipment to the clearing agent here. You know, then the clearing agent here will now lift to Paris. There's another clearing agent on the other side. The agent will clear the goods now to the clients. So my work just ends the moment I deliver my shipment to the clearing agent.
So there's no other business after that?
No other business.
But what if, are you always sure that the customer will get their produce?
Because it's their business to deliver, not to deliver the shipment to the client.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what if the client doesn't get it? Does the complaint come to you or to the shipping company?
It comes down to the shipping company.
You're left out of it.
Yes, because I delivered my shipment.
You did your
to
part.
I did my part.
Yeah.
You know, if it's for 500 boxes, I delivered 500 boxes. And from the other side, they will say, okay, I shipped 500 boxes to you. So did you clear them or not? But you know it's their business to clear.
Yeah.
Because that is their business.
Yes. So what is the difference between local produce and the international produce that you, or rather, let me ask first, do you do local produce? Do you sell locally?
Yes, we do.
What is the difference between that you sell locally and international? Is there any difference?
The difference is in terms of quality. And I won't say this because people may think maybe we give grade 2 quality to the local market.
Yes.
You know, I've been supplying to Naivas for years now.
Naivas supermarket.
Naivas supermarket. You know, and whoever has bought that product of mine,
Yes.
or of ours, we give quality.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
The only problem I have the local market is the pricing. You know, because if I give you premium product, it's a premium product. You know, but you see at the end of the day, we compete the same market because we have many players in the local chain.
yeah.
You know, and I may take my product which is of high quality and another one will bring it of low quality and we're being paid the same.
Yeah, true.
So at the end of the day you feel okay, you just give what you give, and sometimes you feel it's not enough. You know,
Yeah.
if you like my product, just pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, because it's still a chain. You know, farmers have done their work. I've done my job from the other side, so it has to be. And that's why at the end of the day, the local market is there, you know, but slightly.
What are the risks and the challenges that you faced in this industry?
Okay, I would say post-harvest challenges are always there.
What do you mean when you say the post-harvest challenges?
And that depends on the market. You have produce on this side, and then the market goes down.
It's a challenge.
And you know, the local market cannot consume 10 tons in a week, you know. So an only local market can only consume almost 800 to 600 a week. That is what I normally give now to the local markets, you know. It becomes a challenge, you know. Still it becomes a challenge to a farmer if the market goes down and you have now to give some limits, you know. But what you normally do to make sure some of those challenges, we have addressed them in a way that we normally we play with the market, with the market ratings, that we have off-peak and we have peak season. You know, once with our off-peak, we make sure that our planting schedules goes
hand in hand.
Yes, so that we don't have too much that we are not exporting.
And do you think the government has helped out in this industry? Has it made its touch in this industry, the export industry? Has it helped out in any way?
Yeah. Okay. Let me say, as you know, we have been celebrating of all 3 months of topping as our export market up by almost 23%, and let me say it's the work of government, because if it were not for those, we have only 2 institutions that I always, which have been with us as Louis Farm from the day we started. That is Horticultural Crops Directorate for the licensing, and then we have KEFIS, the Kenya Plant Health. And those 2 government institutions have held the Kenyan market.
And even as we wind up, the COVID has affected the worldwide. It's close to 2 years now. How has it affected Louis Farm?
Wow, it has been a challenge. You know, with our main market, which is France market, you know, it was one of, in Europe, worst hit, and lockdowns everywhere, on monthly lockdowns. UK the same. So the market has been up and down. But since I would say we supply to one of the biggest supermarkets in Paris, in France, and that is the only thing that has made us be in the market for all through, despite COVID issues being there, you know. But in terms of consumption on the other side, it has been slowed down, yes.
And even as COVID has hit, from the time you started Louis Farm till now, there are some highlights that you've had. What is your most celebrated highlight at Louis Farm?
Okay, I would say having been able to penetrate in one of the biggest supermarkets in France and accepting the quality that we're offering. And for me, I feel good, and for my side and for my team in general.
That is actually a big deal.
It's a big deal for me.
And what advice would you have for someone who wants to start this kind of business?
You know, mali si ukulima si ushamba.
Ukulima si ushamba.
You know. And there is money in farming. You know. But at the end of the day, you have to keep pushing. You have to keep pressing. You know. In one way or the other. And I believe in agriculture, employees can employ, you know, a huge number of youths. You know, but guys are like, okay, mi unajua lazima nifanya hii na ile. Guys are doing very well in the farm, trust you me. I am there. We have good number of young men and women, and elderly still doing it. So I can just tell my guys, you know, just vuka.
Songa tu.
Japan day.
Sijifungie pale.
The market is there, you know.
Yeah.
We're almost 50 million here, Kenyans.
And you need to feed.
Yes, lazima, you know. But now you see we have led that market. The Tanzanian produce is coming a lot on this side.
We need to change that.
We need to change that. We need to do it. We need to produce our own and consume our own.
Thank you so much for enlightening us about the export industry. We've been talking to Mr. Bur of Louis Farm Limited, and they export produce